Part 1, Setting the Scene. To communicate what COINTELPRO is, we're going to create a simple scenario over 4 days and illustrate how simple things that might seem a bit out of the ordinary are actually setups for a payoff and conclusion you didn't see coming. While someone is a victim of this abuse, these simple interactions day by day will slowly erode your ambitions, livelihood, relationships, and your health while you're being distracted by the first 3. Imagine you're living your normal day-to-day. You're in your car, getting into a heated argument with a friend. After the clash, you part ways and go home that evening because you have work in the morning. On your way to work, you stop to get a coffee. And while you're waiting in line, someone behind you repeats verbatim and mockingly the most heated moment of yesterday's argument. You turn around, the person smiles, coughs twice, and leaves. This is usually the beginning of the victim's awareness. Their celebrity cruise or COINTELPRO ride has started. That first encounter seems weird, but you shrug it off and you mention it to your significant other later after work. Later that night, you're on your phone and you notice a story in your feed mentioning how your significant other is more likely to cheat in the morning. Before you go to bed, your partner tells you they're going to meet a friend at the gym in the morning, and it puts you on guard. The morning arrives, and you're driving to work in your car playing Pandora radio, and the commercial for a local PI that specializes in cheating spouses comes on in between songs. Now that you're at work, by the time your lunch break comes around, you realize your partner hasn't called you or texted you all day. You scroll your feeds on your lunch break, and you notice a comment mentioning how you are abusing your mentorship position at church and that no one likes you there. You shake it off, save the post to comment later since lunch is almost over, then go back to work. You get to your desk, and shortly after, one of your clients calls and chews you out for an unfulfilled purchase order. The person yells at you and is very rude, then hangs up. At the end of work, you notice your significant other still hasn't called you, which makes you suspicious by this time. On the way home, you pick up dinner at the store and a smoothie. While online at the grocery store, a stranger says your name while having a louder than normal conversation with another person. The 2 women mentioning in the conversation are how their friend had to leave her church mentorship to save her marriage, but it didn't matter anyway. No one there liked her. This makes you think of the comment you saw earlier online. It makes you pissed at these people, even though you don't know them at all, and there's no way they're talking about you. On your way home, your streaming service plays nothing but songs about cheating boyfriends. You get home and see your significant other with another person of the opposite sex. You get out of your car. Your spouse says his phone didn't work all day for some reason, and his card isn't working, so he couldn't buy gas. That's why his new client, who is also female, drove him home. You both get in the house, and an argument starts. Your temper flares up abnormally. You accuse your spouse of cheating. He gets mad and leaves. You eat dinner by yourself, go back to check on that negative comment you saw at lunch, but it's not there anymore. Suddenly, you're waking up, not remembering falling asleep, and you hear a noise in your house. So you call out to your spouse, with no answer. Down the hall, the front door slams, and then the place is silent. You call out if anyone is there, and no one replies. You text your partner, thinking it might be them who just left. They reply back, saying they haven't been back and are still mad, and they'll talk to you later. Now that you know that wasn't your spouse, you check your house, find all the lights on, and open cabinet doors, but nothing's missing. You call the cops. They check the house and see nothing missing or out of place. The police then ask you things like if you've been abusing alcohol or drugs. You reply in defense of yourself, but the cops refuse to file a report since they see nothing as a threat and ask if you'd like to see a psychiatrist. You refuse, claim you're not crazy, and then they leave. At this point, you're unable to sleep all night and go to work as the morning arrives. After you arrive, your boss asks you to meet, tells you a large client you maintained called the business and is taking her business elsewhere. Because of this, you are fired. You clean out your office, and now you're on your way home. The fact you're going back to a house you don't feel safe upsets you, and upon arriving, you see that your significant other is moving his stuff out while you are at work. After another fight, he leaves. Now home alone, stressed out, and not feeling safe, you try to wind down with some wine in your Harvard college sweats and watch some TV. You pull out your phone and scroll your feed to chill out and begin seeing ads for the same exact Harvard sweatshirt that you're wearing. You get a little creeped out. So you go to Reddit to get away from your social media feeds and start seeing posts about, how did you cause your breakup? Then a post about, unless you went to Harvard, you shouldn't wear the sweatshirt. Another post, my friend Heather is a fuck up. How should I tell her? Okay, now that's creepy, but you click on it because you're curious. You scroll down the comments and see a flood of people mentioning how horrible Heather is, saying that she's a fuck up at work. Another saying that she's a wino and will never be smart enough to go to Harvard. You have now reached situational awareness. You know you're being watched, and your watchers feel like they're in such a good position to do so that they can directly ridicule you. Your phone freezes up, then turns off as you try to make a screenshot. At the situational awareness stage, you're anywhere between 6 weeks to 6 months into your COINTELPRO celebrity cruise. But most importantly, now you know you have an enemy who's embedded themselves into your life and is watching you like a pet. So now let's backtrack through the past 4 days and break down what's happened. The way Heather's life was hijacked, and simple methods were used to nudge her behavior and invade her life without her knowing.